So it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and no, actually, it's 4:30 in the morning um, on the East Coast, and I'm here in the kitchen, just getting over having a cry because this one went missing for 3 days, and I didn't know where she was. Um, and Lucy, her mother, was gone too. And now I did see Lucy Sunday night at around 8 o'clock, 8:30, when it got dark. She came up to eat. Um, it's been a really bad couple of days, guys. I didn't say anything to the community because I know that there are people like Catitude that really like Abra, and that it just would have devastated them had they known that she was gone. And I'm going to put her down, but um, uh, it's just been bad. Um, I don't know why she left. It's not like her to. I mean, there's been times where she's been gone for a day or two, but it's not like 24/7 kind of thing. Like she'll be gone. I mean, there's been times where she's been gone for a day or two, but those were mainly back. Tours playing in the tube. That was mainly when she was still living outside exclusively and hadn't come in at all yet. So, she just was roaming. But ever since, she's been brought in and has been living, kind of like an indoor outdoor cat, she doesn't do that. She doesn't go away. And Lucy never does that. Lucy's always around the area. She's always in the courtyard. She's always, usually she sleeps, usually her and Tora sleep up in the balcony during the day. And like now that it's getting hot, or it wasn't too bad today, but I'm a complete mess. I need a shower, and I have my cat feeding shirt on. Just took food down to them, and now I'm getting things cleaned up, and I have a bunch of recycling stuff I have to get out before the recycling truck comes, because it comes super early. Like it'll come like 5 o'clock, or yeah, 5 o'clock, or 5:30. So Lucy's been missing too, and she showed up Sunday night and she ate, but then she was gone again. And I don't know what's going on. It's not like them to behave like that. Lawless has been around. Rogue hasn't even been wanting to go out, and that's unusual for him. So something's happening out there. I don't know what it is. I have my suspicions. I think part of it is I think part of it might be Jack, because Jack is being very aggressive with the other cats in the colony. And I don't think that it's because he's a nasty cat, or he's just, a a tough boy that he's trying to assert. I don't think it's that. I think a lot of it is I think he's an indoor cat, and he's being forced to live outside. And I think he's just trying to find his place. And it's not going well for him. He needs to go somewhere. He needs a home. He needs to be somewhere. And I'm in a position where I can't just like bring him in, because I don't have a place to quarantine him. Um, we're going to have our apartment inspection towards the end of this month. We're almost at the end of the month, the 27th. So I have to have this place spick and span by then, because the landlord's she's a beach on wheels. Very judgmental. I don't know how she's allowed to work with people with mental health issues. it's just a lot, you know. It's just a lot. And then this morning when I went down, this morning I took food down. Hang on a minute. Sorry about that. I don't know. Tora's tearing something up. That noise you hear is him in the tube rolling around. What I was saying is I went down, early, yesterday morning, like around 5 o'clock. I went down because I've been dealing with a fibromyalgia flare as well, and I think it's just a lot. It's the stress. There's a lot of things going on that I don't talk about, and I don't talk about it for a reason, because I don't like to burden people, and I don't think that my problems should be other people's problems. That's why I have a therapist. So there's a lot of stuff going on that I don't like to talk to people about. So I just kind of, I deal with it the way that I know how to deal with it, which is, working with my therapist and with other professionals. But I went down this morning because my sleep cycle's all messed up again. And yesterday morning, Monday morning, so like 5 o'clock, 5:30 Monday morning, I ran some food down for them. And I saw the little calico again. I don't know if I can't remember who I talked to in the community, because I have people that I talk to through email and on phone. And there's this little calico cat. This is the second time I've seen her. She's very, very friendly. She's very, very thin, and I'm worried about her. And I saw her, and then I didn't see her again. And then I saw her yesterday morning. And this cat I think she just had kittens. And she's so thin, her spine. You can feel her spine. You can feel her vertebrae. And I just can't understand how people can do this to another living animal. I know people can be cruel to other people, and I don't understand that, because not everybody deserves that kind of cruelty. There are people that are just horrible people, let's just face it. But there are also people that don't deserve it. There are people that can't defend themselves, that are marginalized individuals. But to be cruel to an animal, and then these people that live in the Habitat for Humanity house, the ones that have the cat that she don't want to stay inside, so should we let her outside? And then we don't, but we're not going to spay her. We're just going to let her get pregnant, and we'll just, I don't know what they do with the kittens. I don't even know if I want to know what they do with the kittens, because apparently they bring her in, and they guess she gives birth, and then they say that they rehome the kittens. But I'm like, why don't you just spay the cat? Spay the damn cat. It's not that expensive. Look, here's the thing. I don't like to say to people, if I can do it, you can do it. I don't like to say that, because everybody's on a different journey. Everybody has a different situation. And my situation, even though I'm poor, I may have some advantages or resources that someone else who is also poor doesn't have, and vice versa. But I will say this. There is no excuse not to get your cat spayed or neutered. There's just none. There are plenty of places out there that if you have a cat, and I'm not talking about a colony. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about an owned cat, like a companion animal. If this is your cat, and this cat, it doesn't want to go inside, or for what, or you don't want them inside, you want them to be indoor, outdoor, whatever, then you need to have that cat spayed and you need to have her ear tipped. I'm sorry, but that's the way it has to be. If you're not going to be watching her and checking on her, like my Rogue, he's outside right now, but I know where he is. He's on the balcony, he's down in the courtyard, he's over by my car, he'll lay by my car, he'll watch the cats eat. I know where he's at. When I come in, he comes in. He's not allowed outside all night without me being up and around and able to look out the window every, half an hour or so to check to make sure he's still where he's supposed to be. These people don't give a shit. This cat, and I know now, they're not feeding her. I'm almost 100% certain that they're not feeding her. Because when I went down at 5:30 or whatever in the morning, because usually I feed around between 2 and 3. I try to feed earlier if I can, but it just depends on how much commotion's going on outside. And now with wackadoo neighbor living down here instead of above me, that's a whole other issue. But usually I just put food out like at 3:00 and she was under the car waiting. You can't tell me they're feeding her. You cannot tell me they're feeding her. Because when I put food out yesterday at 5:30, she actually came to me crying, rubbing against my legs. She never does that. She's rubbing against my legs. I was even able to pick her up. She never lets me pick her up. She always hisses at me. So she was hungry. She was really hungry. They don't feed her. I don't understand people. I don't get it. And this is like my early morning breakdown because, sometimes you just gotta break down. And I'm doing it on camera because I want people to understand that when you do this kind of work, we're not getting paid for it. There's probably, I don't know if there's anybody in the community that's getting compensated for what they do. We're spending our money. It's our time. It's our dime. It's our emotions. It's our mental health. And it's just hard. It's just really hard. And I'm just, I was walking down the alley just at 3:00 saying, Lucy, psh, Lucy, psh, Abra, psh, Abra. And Abra showed up. Abra came up onto the balcony. She showed up. And I got halfway down the alley and I saw something black sitting, and it was at a distance. And I'm like, Lucy, and the black spot turns around and I see the white stripe down the face and I knew it was her. And so, I'm walking back up the alley and I have stray cats following me. And then Lucy and Wallace are out there right now. They're eating their plate of chicken and I just got them wellness food yesterday. But, yeah. Hang on a minute, guys. Need one of these. It's hard. It's just really hard. June is a bad month for me anyway, because my mother passed away in 2016 and her birthday is this month. It's actually the 14th. It's on Flag Day, and it actually is the same birthday that a very controversial former president has. And thank goodness my mom's not on this earth to see that, because she would not have been a supporter. And she would definitely have been, she would have been asking me, well, how can I, how can I petition to either change my birthday or he has to change his. You know, but my mom was an animal lover, and I mean she was a big time animal lover. I mean, we would have had a house packed with. I mean, well, we did at one point. We had a house packed with animals, um, before things fell apart. But yeah, I mean, she just loved animals, and I got that from her. So I'm just so glad they're okay. Um, because I know it would have just devastated if something happened to either one of them. It would have just devastated certain people. Like Catitude, I know Catitude just loves Abra, and that would have just devastated her if something had happened to Abra. So, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want people to get upset unnecessarily. So, I think I think part of what's going on is, like I said, it's Jack, but I also think because I have this person that lives downstairs, and she shouldn't even be here. She shouldn't be here. She's violent. She's threatened people. I mean, she's threatened people with a knife already, and I don't know why they continue to let her live here. So it's not a good situation, and um, it's hard because I mean, right now, I mean, you've seen the footage. She basically has a salvage yard going on down there, which I don't, and yet I get bitched at when I tried to have a couple of cat houses out. I mean, but funny story, just to lighten this a little bit. I showed my therapist a picture of the giant Coke bottle, and my therapist looked at it and said, "Why does she have a giant Coke bottle?" Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's okay for her to have a giant Coke bottle, but I can't have I can't have a plastic bin that's been converted into a cat house. Routinely, the guy that lives below me, he was complaining to me yesterday because her dog goes and he just poops on the yard, and then she says it's the cats. And my neighbor's like, "What?" He said, "I saw the dog do it." I said, "Yeah, I saw the dog do it too." I said, "But then she's down there screaming that the cats are doing it." It Memorial Day weekend, she threatened me physically, um, and she also threatened Rogue. And I have it documented, but I didn't take it to the landlord because they won't do anything. I mean, I have police reports. I had an actual officer that said that that they need to move me because, and maybe that's part of it, because an officer was actually saying that they should be moving me, and not just move me like, in another unit in this building, that out, somewhere else. Because the cop said he's afraid that this is going to, um, it's going to get to the point of violence. That's what he's afraid of. He said he's afraid it's going to escalate because, just talking to her briefly, he could tell that she's really unwell and unstable. So that's some of the things I'm dealing with, folks. But I just wanted to come on here and I wanted to let people know that, look, I break down too. This isn't easy. It isn't an easy thing to deal with these cats, to love these cats, to try to help these cats. And sometimes we just need to have an ugly cry. So with that, I'm going to end it. And you guys all know the drill. I'm not going to say it. It just feels so out of context to be plugging, subscriptions and things, or subscribers, after this. But thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you in the next one, hopefully without the tears. Bye from Meow.